Hey sweet friends, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Michaela Barnhart. For those of you that are not new here, welcome back and thank you so much for returning. If you can't tell by who I'm holding and the title of today's video, this is going to be our labor and delivery vlog slash story. It's kind of a mixture of pieces that we got in the hospital as well as me sitting down to fill in the gaps for you. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and get right into our story. Alright guys, so I think this is happening for real, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna go ahead and start our birth vlog. I'll do a separate intro where I don't look like this once everything is done and said and done. But we are currently 36 weeks. It is what, July 22nd, I think? No. Yeah, it's Monday, July, or Tuesday, I don't know. It's something. July 22nd. I don't know what day of the week it is, but either way, we went in for our 36-week appointment today. I am 3 centimeters dilated as of that appointment. I've been having contractions over the last week or so, just hit or miss though, like a couple a day, random, nothing too crazy. But since the appointment this afternoon, they've definitely picked up. Right now I'm actually timing them on an app. They are coming every mostly 2 to 3 minutes. Some of them have been closer together, some of them farther apart, but for the most part average 2 to 3 minutes. And they're lasting for anywhere from 30 seconds to about a minute each. They haven't gotten super painful yet or anything, so I called my doctor and I was like, hey look, here's what's going on. Should we go to the hospital or not? And they told me to get in bed, sit for about an hour, drink plenty of water, as much as I could keep down while I'm just sitting, and see if they stopped. If they didn't stop, then come on in. But if they, stopped, then obviously we could go to bed and wait it out. So that's what we're doing right now. We are sitting in bed. Gatlin's right here because I don't want to put him to bed and then an hour from now I have to wake him back up to take him to my mom's. So yeah, your phone. So he's sitting right here with mommy in bed while daddy finishes packing our hospital bags. He just finished packing up Gatlin's because we didn't pack his beforehand. Ours is pretty much packed. We just had a little list in the front of it that had the things we needed to grab when it's time to go. So he's going to go ahead and grab all of that and get it fully packed, ready to go. That way, if we do have to leave in the next hour, we're ready. My stepdad just came and got our 2 dogs and took them with him, so they're already gone. So if this happens for real in the next hour and we're still having contractions, then we will take him to my mom's and we'll head to the hospital. But I thought I would go ahead and get it started here, give you an update. Obviously, if this does not happen, then I won't even use this clip. But if you guys are seeing this, then that means it happened. So stay tuned because the rest is coming. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later now, still the same day. It's 11:36 at night. We are officially headed to the hospital. We dropped Gatlin off at my parents, and now you can't see Jeremiah, but he's over there driving. We are headed in. My contractions have definitely gotten more intense, more painful, and are a little bit closer together, lasting a little bit longer. So we're heading in to at least be checked. I don't know if they're going to keep us or not, so we'll, still up in the air. But it definitely feels real to me. So we're going to go see what they say, and I'll keep you guys posted. What's that? Is that my baby's heartbeat? Alright guys, so we are in triage now. She checked me. I'm 4 centimeters, so I've made a little bit of progress. And I'm having very regular, pretty intense contractions at this point. So they have me hooked up. They're going to monitor for an hour, so we have a little less than that now. And then they're going to recheck to see if I'm making progress. Just because I am 36 weeks, she was saying that if I'm not making progress, they'll probably send me home because they're not going to give me anything to help me make progress at 36 weeks, which I'm fine with. That makes sense. I don't want to be induced or anything, but hopefully the contractions will continue and this is real and we have baby boy, tomorrow or whenever. But just wanted to update you. Alright guys, a little update for you. It is a little after 3 now in the morning on July 23rd. We are obviously still here. I am exhausted. Jeremiah just went to go try to find a vending machine to get him himself a snack. I can't even think about eating right now, but I'm having very intense irregular contractions still. When they rechecked me after being here for an hour, I was still at 4 centimeters dilated though, so it's kind of still up in the air on whether or not they were going to admit me. So they are now giving me IV fluids and seeing, they're going to give me the fluids and see if I'm just dehydrated, if that's what's causing the contractions. If my contractions are still like regular after the fluid is done, and I'm obviously not dehydrated, then I guess we'll be admitted, but we'll go from there. So it is one of the doctors that I really like on call right now. He's on call until 8 o'clock in the morning. So, or not like on call, but he's here at the hospital. He's working the shift tonight. So if baby boy comes before 8 o'clock, then he will get to deliver him. If not, then it'll be somebody else, and that's fine too. But yeah, we're still here, hanging in there. So I'll update you guys again whenever we have something else to share. But for right now, I'm pretty much just stuck in bed. I'm all hooked up to like all the monitors and everything. And now, of course, I'm hooked up to an IV. So we're just gonna try to relax and see what happens. Alright guys, so it is a little bit later now. It's actually a little after 9 o'clock in the morning. They just broke my water probably about 15 minutes ago and did all of that good stuff. They checked me again. I am still 5 centimeters dilated, but now I'm 50% effaced, and they told me the station, but I don't remember. Anyways though, so we're making some progress. Contractions have definitely picked up since they broke my water, like instantly started getting worse. They were gonna just start pushing Pitocin to try to speed the process up, obviously, but I asked if I could wait, just kind of let my body, you know, see what was gonna happen first, at least for like an hour, and then be rechecked. So that's the plan right now. So like I said, probably about 45 minutes from now, they'll check me again. And we'll see if I've made any more progress. I definitely am getting close to the point where I really want an epidural during the contractions. So we'll kind of see how that happens. But yeah, for now we're just sitting up. Jeremiah's awake. Here comes a contraction. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to fill in some of the pieces. So basically the last thing you guys just saw was when I was talking about they come in and broke my water. I was 5 centimeters dilated, and then that was kind of it until you'll see the next clip, which is talking about like once baby's here. So to kind of fill in the pieces, basically that was right around like 9 or so that morning. They broke my water at 5 centimeters dilated. They wanted to start Pitocin, but like I mentioned in that clip, I asked if they could just hold off and let my body see what it would do. After an hour, I still had not really made much progress. I was still 5 centimeters dilated, a little bit more effaced, but there wasn't a huge change. So my doctor and I talked about it. I was in agreement we could start Pitocin, and that was that. So they hung a bag of Pitocin, started it on the lowest level. I don't even think they ended up having to even up it. I just needed a little bit to get everything kind of kick-started. So they did that probably right around like 10 or so that morning. And things were definitely getting intense. As you guys saw at the end of that last clip, my contractions were getting a lot worse. I couldn't really talk through them. It was more of like just making noises through them. And so I ended up, after they hung the Pitocin, actually it might have been right before they hung the Pitocin. Yeah, I think it was actually right before they hung the Pitocin. I was checked again, still 5 centimeters, and I asked for an epidural. So the doctor came in, anesthesiologist, they gave me the epidural. It was horrible this time. So I had an epidural with my first as well. I made it to 8 centimeters dilated, got the epidural with him, and I was actually induced with him. So my pain was a lot worse there. And I think that's why I feel like the epidural was worse, because with Gatlin, our first son, I was in so much pain at 8 centimeters dilated. My contractions were like non-stop. They were just on top of each other at that point. I could not do anything else. And so I think because I was in so much pain, I didn't pay attention to what they were doing to me as far as giving me the epidural. But getting it this time, it was horrible. And I knew instantly when they did it, and this might also be why it was so bad, that it was not done correctly. And I don't know if there's any like space to put blame on anybody for that, but it was definitely a failed epidural. I don't want to say it was completely failed, because I definitely feel like my pain could have been worse. I still had a lot of pain. I felt everything from that point all the way until he was here, everything. And so it didn't work the way it was supposed to. Let's just say that. But it was a very weird feeling. It was one-sided. I struggled to breathe, and like I was having like a mini panic attack afterwards, because I thought for sure that like the anesthesiologist who did my epidural, I thought for sure he had done something wrong, and like I was gonna be you know, in like a world of hurt for the rest of my life or something. Like I was imagining the worst, as you always do in this kind of situations. But either way, I got the epidural, they hung the Pitocin, and of course things just continued to get, you know, more intense and more intense until he made his arrival. So right around like 12 o'clock, I asked to be checked again, because I just felt like it was time. Like I knew something was happening. And so they checked me right at 12, and I was complete. I was ready. Everything was going good. So we started doing practice pushes and everything. The doctor came in. It took about 20 minutes, and at 12:24, our little bundle of joy arrived. Then things got really fun after that. So we had like a little bit of time where he was put on my chest. He had some weird like breathing patterns, which our first did as well. So they took him over because he was 36 weeks. So they just wanted to check and make sure that that wasn't something to be concerned about. The NICU people came down, the like pediatric respiratory people came down, and they checked him out over in the little like section. You guys saw a little clip of it, the little like bassinet thing they put him on for his first weight and everything. So they did that. They got him a diaper on and everything, and then they brought him back to me. And our labor and delivery nurse was incredible. Her name was Susan. Best labor and delivery nurse. I don't want to say best, because our first labor and delivery nurse was also incredible. But she told us to take as much time as we wanted. Like she allowed us to do skin to skin, and I mean we were in there for like an additional 4 to 5 hours. She didn't come back and check on us really unless we needed her to. She just gave us that time as a family, and it was so nice. So we did that. We did skin to skin, we did all of the good things, and then they moved us up to a room later that evening to do like the rest of our stay. They have like the postpartum recovery rooms, so we moved up to that. And then throughout the night they monitored both of us, of course. The next morning I was cleared to go home, so this was now Wednesday morning. I didn't have any issues or anything at this point. Everything seemed to be going good with me, so I was cleared to go home. But Hudson, baby Hudson, was not, because of his blood sugar. He ended up having a really low blood sugar. He ended up having to go to the NICU for a little bit of time and come back. He had to have glucose gel, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar with it, then you know what it is, but it basically was something they put in his mouth that's like just super sweet. They kind of they explained it to me as like a sugar water almost, but I guess it's more like gel, it's thicker. But he ended up having to have that, and eventually after all day on Wednesday, we were able that evening to get his blood sugar levels back up. And they said as long as they stayed up overnight, like into Thursday morning, and he was still feeding good. We also had to supplement with formula to be able to get to that point. But they said as long as everything was good, then Thursday morning, you know, he would be released. We should be able to go around lunchtime on Thursday. That was our goal. But Wednesday night, things changed. He ended up doing great, and his blood sugar ended up staying great the rest of the stay. But Wednesday night, I developed a fever, chills, headache, horrible feeling. Like I felt like I had been run over by a truck. More so than you do after you give birth normally. I felt really bad, and so they monitored me overnight. The doctor came in the next morning and was like, yeah, you're not going anywhere. They started testing me for things. They tested me for COVID. All in all, they ended up testing me for COVID, flu, and RSV. They also did like a urinalysis to check for like a UTI or bladder infection of some kind. And all those things came back negative, but they ended up just settling that I had some kind of infection somewhere in my body that I could have brought in with me already, or I could have developed during delivery, just because of the nature of all of that. They weren't really sure, or there wasn't really a way to tell. But I ended up staying all the way until Saturday because of that. I had to go 24 hours fever free. And every time we would get my fever to break for a few hours, they would come back in to check it, and it would be right back up. and it was pretty high. Like I think at one point it was 102.5 and it stayed that for several hours. Like I was consistently having pretty high fevers and just feeling like crap. Honestly, I felt horrible. I couldn't hold him, not because they wouldn't let me. I mean, he was able to stay in the room with me the whole time, even when they thought I had COVID. By that point they said, you know, he'd already been exposed, he as in the baby, and so they weren't gonna move him out the room or anything, but I just did not feel like it. So thank the Lord above for Jeremiah, because he stepped in and did everything for the baby and for me. He was such a trooper and never complained. So definitely thank God for him, because I don't think we would have made it without him. But we ended up staying all the way until Saturday afternoon, finally at 5:45 on Saturday, because I remember the time when they come in and did my last fever check. I was still fever free after 24 hours, and I haven't had any issues since then. And today is Wednesday the 31st, so we're now several days past that and I'm still doing great. But yeah, so we ended up getting discharged on Saturday. But yeah, so that kind of fills in all of the pieces of our labor delivery, as well as a little bit afterwards. I do want to share, there's a quick little clip I'm going to put in right after this to share with you guys. That is Gatlin meeting Hudson for the first time. It's the sweetest clip ever, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in here.
Him on your lap, okay? He might cry. We'll see. That's your baby. Oh, easy. Oh. He licked your finger. Yeah. Is he holding your hand? He likes to hold your hand sometimes. Oh, he gave him a kiss and I didn't get it. I hope you got it.
Yeah, I'm recording it.
He might bite ya. Did he get you? Look at Mimi and smile. Holding your baby. Look at Mimi.
Alrighty, so you guys saw that cute little clip. I'll also, somewhere here at the end, I will insert Hudson's little announcement picture that we took of him in the hospital, just so you guys can see him as well. But that is all that I have for our labor delivery vlog slash story, whatever you want to call it at this point. It's such a mashup of different things, but that's all I have. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can stick around to see our life unfold with our new baby Hudson, as well as stick around for all of the teaching and planning things that I have to come. And I will see you guys in the next one. All right, bye guys.